My name is Margie Alaprandi, and I'm very happy to be here with you this evening along with Dr. Kelly Matone. Let me tell you a little bit about her as she is going to share some very powerful information with us tonight. Dr. Kelly O'Malley Matone has been a physician for nearly 30 years. She graduated summa cum laude from California State University at Los Angeles in 1985, and she earned her medical degree at Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York, where she continued as chief resident, attending physician, clinical residency instructor, and an associate professor of gross anatomy. Dr. Matone is a diplomat of the American Board of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation and subspecialized in spine and sports medicine until 1999, when she transformed the scope of her practice from therapeutic to aesthetic in order to meet her patients' growing demands for non-surgical anti-aging solutions and green living advice. She's now featured on national media outlets and constantly giving advice on health and beauty. She mentors young women in medicine and is on the advisory board of the Center of Women of New York. She sits on the board of directors of private children's charities and is also a volunteer flight doctor, co-pilot for Angel Flights, providing private air transport for sick kids to medical facilities. She's kind of the all-around woman. Man, this woman does it all. She is also an over 50 model, and she is the single mother of 4 children. Her children are also very, very accomplished. They are athletes, and let me just get this back up. They are athletes, and they are models themselves and also scholars. So we are so fortunate to have Dr. Kelly Matone with us tonight to just kind of tell her story and tell us a little bit about BioCell. So let me turn it to you, Dr. Kelly.
Hi, Margie. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. How are you today? I'm so fortunate to be involved with Liquid BioCell and now with Modere. My life has changed significantly having been part of this product, and in turn I have affected the lives of so many people, my children, my mother, my patients, friends of family, who are now benefiting from Liquid BioCell. My own story started a way back, about 2 or 3 years ago. One of my patients introduced me to someone who said, "Oh, I have this wonderful product. You're a cosmetic doctor. This will so help your patient's skin." And I thought, oh my goodness, here we go, another product that I really don't want. Well, fast forward, Dr. Virginia Pajunin came into my office and started explaining to me about Liquid BioCell, that it had collagen and hyaluronic acid and sulfate, and it was bio-optimized and absorbable. And I stopped her instantly and I said, I get it. I just don't need to explain this any further to me. And she kind of just looked at me, because we all know we meet resistance. Margie, I'm sure even as long as you've been in the game, you meet resistance. People go, I don't know what this is, and I don't want any part of it. So I too was guilty of that until I started trying it. I thought, wow, this is great. And God puts things in your life for different reasons. A month and a half later, unbeknownst to me, I took a tremendous fall on ice, and I significantly injured my hip joints and my back. And I remember Dr. Virginia telling me about the wonderful benefits of joints for this product. I was mainly focused on the skin aspect because of my patients, although I do have a joint background. And I asked her if she thought this product would help me, because I had read testimonies from other people who had doubled and tripled the dose. And I took her advice, which was, Dr. Kelly, drink a bottle in a day and let me know how you feel. And I know that toxicology is not a problem to drink a bottle in a day. You can go up to 33 times the normal dose and not have any side effects, except good ones, from this product. Within 2 days after drinking a bottle, I would say that 65% of the discomfort that I had in my joints and the lack of mobility that I had was transformed. I could not believe the ease of which I was starting to move and the way that I felt, to the point where a couple of months later I stopped taking it. I didn't tell anyone, and my secretary asked me what happened to me, that I couldn't move as easy as I could. I couldn't get in and out of a chair. And I said, I stopped Liquid BioCell. And she looked at me and she goes, why would you do that? I said, I want to see if it works.
I'm testing it.
Well, I did it again for another couple of months. I took it, didn't tell anyone, and someone else in my office commented, "You're limping, you're not moving as well. What's wrong with you?" And my secretary said, "You stopped Liquid BioCell, didn't you?" And I said, "I did," sheepishly. "Why would you do that?" I said, "I'm a scientist, and scientists do double-blinded studies." I said, "I was double-blind." I said, "But now I see I will never, ever stop taking Liquid BioCell ever again." And I won't. I absolutely won't. Margie, what I want to let everyone know is that the reason why we feel what we feel when things aren't working, when we have visible signs of aging and we have physical signs of aging, what we're actually experiencing is a loss of three basic things: collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate. That makes up almost every tissue, every part of our body, and keeps us together.
Exactly, and I think it's helpful for people to kind of know the differentiation of how the skin works and what is the difference in terms of hyaluronic acid and collagen in youthful, healthy skin versus aging skin. So maybe you can dive into that a little bit.
I would love to do that. Let me tell you a couple of facts. First of all, collagen. A single collagen fibril has the tensile strength of steel. Our bodies and our skin are made up of collagen. So could you imagine if steel can support a bridge? Well, certainly collagen can support our skin until you don't have it. Hyaluronic acid is a misnomer. It's really a carbohydrate or a sugar, and its job in the body is to absorb 1,000 times its own weight in water, which keeps us hydrated, but it also provides for the viscoelastic properties of articular cartilage. And so that keeps our joints and our synovial fluid rich and thick. What people don't know as well is that your body produces an enzyme called hyaluronic acidase that destroys your own hyaluronic acid. So here you are trying to build it in your body, and you can't. And you can see that as you age, you will start with a high concentration of hyaluronic acid, and by the time you're an older person, you practically have none. Whereas collagen is just the opposite. You start with no collagen or minimal, and as you age, you increase. And I hate to put this fact to everyone, Margie, but it is a fact of life. By the time you're about 25 years old, natural aging starts. You lose every 10 years about 15% of your collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate.
So we can easily see how that impacts the skin, right? In that previous slide, let me go back to it for just a second, where you see this kind of crisscross, that matrix, that is collagen, right? That's a collagen matrix. And then you can also see the hyaluronic acid, and you can see how the skin sags and becomes indented. I think it's a really dramatic slide. And then you can see also here how we're significantly decreasing in our hyaluronic acid and collagen as we age. Let's talk a little bit now about how those compounds, including chondroitin sulfate, impact the joints, the ligaments, the synovial fluid, the cartilage, etc.
All of those are made of collagen, hyaluronic acid, chondroitin sulfate. There are other few proteoglycans that are involved in there as well. But this gives us the strength, the support, the cushioning in our joints that tends to go with age. And also what we didn't mention before is that there are oxidative stresses, just the stress of life and pollution and processes that happen within your body produce oxidative stress in your body, which then, in addition to natural aging, starts to decrease our levels of collagen and hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate.
Perfect. So we're now seeing this full lineup of the BioCell products. We've got BioCell for pets and equine, and the individual BioCell shoes, and Sport Life Skin and Pure. The full lineup of BioCell products is what we're looking at right now. Might be interesting to know how we are unique, how our BioCell matrix, the collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate, how we're unique in the marketplace and unlike any other collagen or hyaluronic acid, topically or ingestible.
what makes us really unique is that we get our collagen hyaluronic acid matrix from a single source. It's not like we're have scientists that are pulling some collagen off the shelf and we're pulling some hyaluronic acid off the shelf and mixing it together and hoping that it comes out into something that the body could recognize. Ours is derived from a single source, and it is in the exact same proportions that naturally occur in the body, so that when you ingest this, your body recognizes it as self. And what really makes us super unique is the 7 U.S. and international patents on the molecular weight. The size of these particles that are entering into our mouth, this is the liquid, which again is prime. It's not that it has to be absorbed in, through your digestive tract, which you may never absorb or break down. This has already been, it's almost like pre-modified ingredients, so that once they hit your mouth, you start to absorb them instantly.
Which is why when we recommend usage for optimal absorption, we encourage you to hold them in your mouth to hold the product in your mouth for just a minute or two, not a minute or two, for, 30, 40 seconds, something like that, because they do begin, particularly the hyaluronic acid begins to be absorbed sublingually, and very powerful that this is really one single compound, not from a variety of avian or bovine sources. This comes as a single compound from one source in nature. Very, very impressive. So let's talk a little bit about the BioCell Life.
What I love about the BioCell Life, in addition to having the collagen, hyaluronic acid, and congruent sulfate, there are 13 superfruits, which are antioxidants. Remember, I told you there's oxidative stress. Well, in order to fight the oxidative stress of living, antioxidants are key. And this has 13 of the most incredible hand-picked fruits that really help to turn our bodies around. And I've heard Dr. Kathy talk about how when she's in the intensive care unit in her trauma patients, that they were giving patients antioxidants prior. So now to have it in one single source and have all of these, you hear doctors say, oh, eat blueberries, eat pomegranate. We have this right here. You don't even have to eat them. They're there, made for you. It's just incredible.
And then, of course, the resveratrol and the fact that you can get it in such potency, so concentrated, the crossover benefit, in addition to the increased joint mobility and lubricity and reduced discomfort, all of those impact that it has on the cartilage and the connective tissue and the deep lines and wrinkles and all of these benefits you're seeing on the screen right now, increasing microcirculation. When you are offsetting oxidative stress and offsetting, neutralizing free radicals in the body, you're going to get crossover benefit in the most broad spectrum way that you can even imagine. And that's why the BioCell Life is a favorite and probably the one that is most often recommended for people, the best place to start. So also, BioCell Life supports, this is just a slide here that shows the joints, the skin, the eyes, the hair, the gums, and the nails, and a little more, Dr. Kelly, on how and why it has impact in all of those ways.
Your eyes are made of hyaluronic acid. The fluid in your eye is actually hyaluronic acid. That was discovered in the early 30s. So that's one of the first things that we know about. Your hair and your skin are direct extensions of your skin that come out, your collagen, your hyaluronic acid. So it just stands to benefit. The same thing with your gums. It's all part of the natural tissues, and all tissues have collagen, hyaluronic acid, and congruent sulfate in them.
And next to water, collagen is it's the number 2 compound in the entire body. Next to water, it's the most abundant compound in the body. And so you can imagine that when it comes to connective tissue that is throughout your entire body, to bolster that when it is waning has got to have a powerful impact. I got to just share my personal experience with this. I'm really excited about the vanity benefits. I feel like the wrinkles are just melting off my face. I am absolutely astounded, Dr. Kelly, at the results. I knew I would get great results, but I'm blown away at how really profound the results are. And I noticed something the other day. Maybe you can help me understand what's going on here. So 10 years ago, I had a melanoma on my chest and had to remove some skin, about the amount of a quarter size, and it left a pretty gnarly looking scar. Well, the scar healed decently well. I eat well and I take a lot of supplements, but it's been the same for a half dozen years or more. And I noticed the other day, oh my gosh, I'll be darned if the appearance of that scar isn't dramatically different than it was 4 months ago. So tell me about that. What's going on with that?
Well, you have increased the collagen content. You increased the water content. So now you have support where you didn't before. And I want to tell you that the collagen that's in Liquid BioCell is hydrolyzed collagen. That stimulates other collagens in your body, which is remarkable. Most doctors will tell you, oh, you can't absorb collagen. Yes, in the hydrolyzed form, you can absorb collagen. And it's when we go ahead 1 or 2 slides, you'll see that the collagen hydrolyzed type 2 that we have stimulates other forms of collagen by stimulating chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are the building blocks that exist in your skin and in your tissues. And so to be able to enhance the building blocks of what your body needs, not just giving it what it needs, but the building blocks to create more, everything gets better in your body. And I've noticed pictures of you, Margie. I said that beautiful. You're stunning to begin with, and I'm noticing the change. And all the people that were with Justura before we merged with Modere, we're all so used to this, and it's so wonderful in the last couple of months to see all of our Modere counterparts just being in shock and awe. And it makes me so happy to see that. I mean, we have a wonderful portfolio of other products, but to add Liquid BioCell to this is incredible, and to watch people change is really amazing.
It is so gratifying, and along the lines of collagen there and the bioavailability of this collagen, I think let's make note that type 2 collagen, which this is the collagen that makes up our joints, and type 2 collagen can morph into, like you mentioned, the other collagens. I just want to bring this point out, and that's the type 1 collagen in the skin and so forth. It can't go the other direction. And so that's the value of this particular collagen that is so also bioavailable. The body recognizes it, takes it up because it is the exact same configuration. This matrix is the exact same configuration as our connective tissue. It's just phenomenal what we have going on here, and the results are so profound. I notice new things every day, and I'm blown away. And that's just from the vanity side. When I see the increased mobility and the decreased discomfort that my fiance has in his hands, it brings tears to my eyes. I'm just like, what a gift of a product we have here. So let's move on.
And these are all anecdotal stories that we're hearing, but this is really backed by science. There are 37 clinical, double-blinded, placebo-controlled studies that support everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, jump on in. That's exactly where I was going.
It's just, you could say all you want, but to have it backed by science. There's one clinical trial of patients who were taking Liquid BioCell and others who were not, and they looked at their mobility and their ease of doing things. And 90% of people who were on Liquid BioCell undoubtedly said that they had much more ease of movement and of accomplishing tasks. And I, for one, have experienced that firsthand, and anyone else I have put it on. And it's a wonderful side effect for people who are taking it for the skin to realize that their joints are, being promoted so much more healthily than before.
Exactly, 90%. Yeah, 90% increase, right? 90% experienced is the slide.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And so increased hyaluronic acid is the slide that we're looking at right now.
In 28 days, there is a 6,000 increase or a 60-fold change in the level of hyaluronic acid. That's phenomenal, considering that our body loses it as we go along. Can actually replace it. And if you look to the next slide, it'll show you that it stops the enzyme. It's dose-related. That the enzyme that I mentioned before, called hyaluronidase, that breaks down your own hyaluronic acid, you can watch it decrease over time, so that you're building hyaluronic acid on one hand, and on the other hand, you're going to build it even further because you're stopping the enzyme that breaks it down naturally. That's phenomenal.
You got just a little bit soft on that. So just to reiterate, the slide that we're looking at right now shows that there is a decrease in it reduces the enzyme that breaks our hyaluronic acid down. So here's this young, plump, baby, the young body, and then and just packed with hyaluronic acid. The enzyme hyaluronidase is breaking that down gradually, and then there's this sharp decrease from about age 25. You mentioned every 10 years, you're losing 15% until
yes.
Right, till there's virtually nothing. And so the double whammy here of what Liquid BioCell does is not only does it increase the body's hyaluronic acid 6,000% in 28 days, 60-fold, but it also reduces the enzyme hyaluronidase that breaks it down. So just wanted to make sure your voice got a little bit soft on that.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's talk about the decrease in dryness. And this is not including any topical moisturizers. This is what's happening in the skin.
And we're all living proof of that. You're watching your wrinkles gradually reduce and your fine lines reduce. It's because of the hyaluronic acid in your body.
Exactly.
You're moisturized. This is moisturizing from the inside out. There's nothing like this in the world.
The slide that I've got up right now is the one that is showing the difference over a 12-week facial analysis, and it's got the little blue lines that point out the depth of wrinkles and the difference in 12 weeks. Pretty profound.
It is very profound. You could see them, but you kind of wonder exactly how much. You can see with the blue lines how it's just, they're just much softer and not as deep as they were previously. And then the rest, I just have slides of people who have taken our product. And I want to, I've said this before, and I will always want to preface, Liquid BioCell is not intended to diagnose, to treat, to cure, or to prevent any disease process. We have information and clinical studies that shows that it supports the healthy body functions. But again, not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or treat any problems medically.
So
the
first one that we're looking at, I'll just kind of move through these and maybe have you comment a little bit, Dr. Kelly. This first one that we're looking at, you see a complete decrease in jowl. And that is likely due to the fact that collagen gives the skin its firmness and its rigidity. I am noticing this really dramatically on my own face. So there's that one. And next one, we're seeing, what do you call that? The turkey gobbler?
We call it in medicine the submental, but it's now been called tech neck. If you want it used to be turkey neck, but let's get on with the times. They call it tech neck. When you're bending forward and down all the time looking at a device, you get squiggly skin underneath the skin.
Well, this is dramatic, and let me move on to the next one. Because of the power of this matrix, you're seeing now the really significant hair regrowth of this individual. We've got a couple more of the hair on the side of my left side of my face, right at the top, to the side of my brow line. I felt like my hair was thinning there a little bit. And so it was one of the things I wrote down, Dr. Kelly. Remember how we tell people, write down everything that you would like to see improved, write down any area where you have discomfort, right? Just really make note. A couple of the things I really wanted to see results were, I wanted above the knees, because I don't think that there's I don't think there's an elective surgery for knee wrinkles. And also, I felt like my hair was thinning just slightly. So I wish I could just even show you right now. I have all these new hairs growing in on the side of my left side of my brow line, my forehead. And so we've got this going on here. And I got to tell you also, the tops of the knees. I'm so thrilled at that. Like, that to me was like,
that little chicken scratch is gone, isn't it?
It's amazing. And so now we've got, look at the difference in this, the lines under the eyes and the sides of
the vibrancy. Just the whole look of her is just more youthful. It's incredible. I use that word a million times, but really there are not much other words for it. Incredible.
Glowing and yeah, just like way more alive and healthy. This next one, obviously, these aren't the best of pictures here, but you can still see that there's a dramatic difference in the eye bags and in the forehead wrinkles, and particularly between the eyebrows, the frown line, really dramatically different.
Yep. Even the nasolabial folds, the lines from the nose to the mouth, are not as deep as they were.
Yeah, hang on.
So, it's not gender specific. It works in women and men. It works in everyone.
Yeah, it works for everybody. And then look at this. Wow.
Okay, the next series of pictures I want to tell you are my patients that I have permission to use their befores and afters. And each one of these patients that you will see were blown away because they did not see any results until they saw their before and after pictures. That's incredible. It looks like,
absolutely.
I could have easily Botoxed that forehead, and I put that out to some of my patients. I'm like, would you like a forehead like that? And they're like, yes, how much is that going to cost and how many needles? I said, it's in a cup, you could drink it.
Oh, I know. Amazing. Yeah. And then...
this is the same person on the side view, where you can see the before picture is on the right-hand side, and you see, even across the bridge of her nose, looking at her eye, the bridge of the nose, around the outside, even the skin underneath. The quality is a little bit different. They were taken in different places, but it's the same person, and you can clearly see that her lines and wrinkles are so much less.
Dramatic. And so, the before one's on the right this time, guys, so don't let that throw you off.
Yes. Well, you should be able to see clearly where those lines and wrinkles are. And then if we go to the next slide, it's the same woman. How many times do you hear people say, oh, I have these horrible circles and lines and wrinkles and discoloration under my eyes. What can you do for it? And I hand them the glass and I say, drink it. Look at the change.
Yeah. The next one here, once again, kind of the jowl and the wrinkles to the side of the nose and under the eyes, the smile lines. Really very, very dramatic. And another forehead that does look like...
3 weeks. I know we ask, clinical studies have been done on a 3-month basis. The next couple of people I'm going to show you all showed these results within 3 weeks of taking the product.
Wow.
And she too, there's a little dot on her forehead that you can clearly see on the upper photograph. And she, right before, just said,